Hi there. On today's episode, oop, sorry, I have my long legs on today. Today, we review Longlegs.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
Now, Betty.
This is Straight to Beauty.
People are gonna be confused if they don't watch the movie.
Yes, they are. But this is why we're explaining it to them right now.
uh, yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get into Longlegs. Eddie, can you tell us about it?
Sure. Longlegs. In the pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. Oh no. The director for this is Oz Perkins. He directed things like The Black Coat's Daughter and Gretel and Hansel. That's so weird saying it that way instead of the other way around. The actors and actresses in this is Mike Micah Monroe. Nicolas Cage is the guy. Oh my gosh. And
What?
Blair Underwood as Agent Carter. You know what? I thought it was him, but I didn't know it was him.
It was in the
Um,
credits.
Yeah, the
yeah, I
movie
didn't read
says
the
it.
credit.
The movie
Or,
told you. It said Nicolas Cage as long legs.
do you tell you the truth? To tell you the truth, there's a situation that happened in our movie theater that we'll get into fairly quickly. So I kind of lost track on very important parts, like the beginning.
It was in the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but I was on my phone in the beginning. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay, here we
The
go.
whole,
Oh,
the whole
dude.
80s red. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a weird thing. I did like the intro though. It was very retro. Well, I'm just gonna go into my non-spoilers. The intro was
Go
very
for
good.
it.
It was very retro. It reminded me of like Super Bad. Even though it's not the same genre, but it was like very 80s, whatever film that type is, like a what is it called? Not a rotary. What is those
Like
old film called? Like
70
a
millimeter or
millimeter,
whatever.
yeah, 80
Hmm.
millimeters or whatever it was. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is gonna get a weird feel, and then it jumped to like full screen. I imagine that's where it said Nicolas Cage. Totally missed it. Um, but it was a very slow burn movie. I was into it. I was like, all right, what's going on? Where is this going? Very, very Zodiac killer type vibes. Um, and seeing like what's going on, where's all this going, Um, I I did and didn't expect the way it turned out, the way it ended. So that's something different, but we could discuss that later. But overall, it'll keep you engaged because for a lot, I was just like, when are they gonna figure this stuff out, or when is the next thing gonna happen? Um, but generally, it was a pretty okay film for me. But like I said, I was kind of got lost because of what happened. But I could do that later. Chris, what about you?
I know you guys don't really watch trailers, but Neon did like a whole marketing thing for this film where they released like less than 10-second trailers for this, like of just random clips of the movie with the symbols that she draws in the movie. So like it was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like she's just sitting at her desk and it just like a symbol just flashes on the screen. So I
Yeah.
really like the marketing for this. And honestly, I feel like the marketing was more interesting than the actual movie, a lot of it, just because of stuff that happens at the end. But I do really like the cinematography, like you were saying, like the how like in the flashbacks or the stuff in the past, it's more the camera's like um a 70 millimeter or whatever the
Yeah.
that style is. But
Yeah.
then in the present day, it's like widescreen, so you see everything. And there's a lot of like angle shots that you see
Hmm.
like it's like a character just sitting and there's like a door clearly behind them. It's like, okay, is someone gonna come up behind her? Like you
Yeah.
kept like looking behind them just because how it was framed. kind of reminded me of like Connie of Hill House kind of thing. Like, oh, is something gonna be in the background?
And
Like it
and
feels
this
like
was
they're
yeah.
yeah.
No, sorry, I
Go
didn't mean
ahead.
to cut you off. And this was one of the things that I was mentioning to Charlie is that I'm so I'm so conditioned to expect something that nothing happened that
Hmm.
I actually got put it as a negative because I was like, what's the point of that? But now thinking about it back, like that was a point of that because that's how it's filmed, like right there. So I'm waiting for a jump scare. I'm waiting for something to pass by. I'm waiting for something because I'd be conditioned for that. And when it didn't happen in the moment, I was like, this is not a payoff. But it is a payoff, you know, based on the context that you're given. So that no, I agree with that. But at the moment, for me, at the moment it felt flat.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like very Zodiac or Silence of the Lambs vibes for this. Like the whole like her trying to figure out like what is happening in like she's a clairvoyant maybe. We don't really know. Like at the beginning of the movie they show that and it's very like what is all like the connection to all these people and the is there like religious aspects? It's like trying to figure out the mystery, which I liked. And I guess to your point about Nicolas Cage, the none of the trailers showed him his character at all. So like when he showed up in that first scene, like it was like I know that that's him, but like it kind of doesn't look like him just because of all the makeup.
It doesn't look like him at all.
It didn't look like him at
I
all.
feel
That's why I
like
was a
there
little
were
That's
moments
confused.
only
where I was
what,
like, that's him.
yeah. Um, it didn't even it didn't even like sound like him all the way. I know he's in a character,
Yeah.
um, but even sometimes I was psyching myself. Is that actually Nicolas Cage? Is that not actually Nicolas Cage? Um, what did you guys think about his character? Like not his character, but his acting and his character. Do you think he killed it? Did he
Uh,
Very,
not kill it? Was
I
he
very
okay?
think
creepy
Kind of in the middle.
vibes.
yeah, very creepy
Yeah.
vibes. I think
Like
he played it well. Well,
his face is like very bulbousy, like very misshapen, like in all like it's like he like painted his face like white, like a doll or something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then he has like
Yeah.
these bright red hands whenever you see him. So it's very off-putting. Like even his what he wears kind of feels like
It
he's being
feels
dressed up as a
it.
doll or like kind of
And you
thing,
know
you know?
what? This goes along the lines of what happened with our in our movie theater. I don't know if it was that's what occurred, but I felt like I could smell uh him through the screen. Like it was just a
Uh,
bad odor. Um, but I say it ever since Pig. Ever since
Hmm.
Pig, Nicolas Cage, the less like vocal he is in any movie, the better he is. So if you could keep him not speaking, I think he does great. I mean, I didn't even know it was him. It took a while. Like, I mean, he's dressed really, really creepy. He's dressed
Yeah.
really, really like disgusting. Um, and I don't know if that's a medical condition or part of the condition of, the movie premise, but anyway.
Yeah,
Anything
Charlie,
else?
if you wanna do you have any other spoiler free thoughts?
um, yeah, I like the general vibes of this movie. I thought it was I thought it was pretty okay overall. But on the better side, just because of all the kind of creepy-esque elements, the clues that are being dropped, the what the hell is going on, and I liked how it came full circle at the end, but we can get to that at the during the spoilers and just the general like, all right, something's up with this girl, and I don't know what's going on, but something's up with Agent Lee Harker, and
And her
we're not
her
getting the
mom.
full, yeah, and her mom. It's like we're not getting the full picture here. But it was would you guys say this is a slow burn? I thought it was slow burnish.
Oh, for sure.
Uh, yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I fell asleep for like 2 minutes
Oh,
during the movie. I don't know what. I think I was just super tired. And I was not expecting a slow burn. I was expecting like something else. Um, but like it was just during the when she visits her mom the first time, and she's kind of just like walking around looking at the conditions of the house and stuff. And but everything else, yeah, I liked about it. And Nicolas Cage, I thought did well. Creep me the hell out. Um, I actually thought it was about um. Well, I can get into that in the spoilers because I will
Spiders?
have to mention spoilers. Yeah. No, I thought it was gonna be supernatural. I thought when he said, "Oh," like in the beginning, when he's like, "Oh, I have my long legs on today," and he like dropped,
Oh,
right?
that was creepy.
Hmm.
I thought that was like a demon like shaping itself to be shorter or whatever. Or something like that. And yeah, it was just it was I liked it. Um, but it was a slow burn. So
All right, let's get into spoilers for long legs, long arms, long whatever.
Long everything. Um, this movie long, yo. I mean, Nicolas Cage, like I said, from the beginning, I didn't really know what to expect. I also thought the way Charlie was thinking that was going to be a little bit more supernatural.
I
Um,
mean, it was supernatural,
I mean,
right?
yeah, no, of course. By the time we get to
yeah,
the end,
yeah.
it's like a very, very clever twist. And I was just like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, what is going on? But even the other twist
Oh my
involved with
gosh.
it, it was like two twists. I was just like, what is going on? Um, but yeah, from beginning to end, I mean, it's a I don't want to say it's a slow burn, but it is like it is a very much like a you know crime murder mystery type of thing that's going on. It's like one agent has this thing and so I go because it starts off very, very powerful. In the beginning, they're looking for a completely different person, I assume is a pedophile. Um, and they track him down to certain places, and then the main agent was like, "He's in this house," and like, the agent she's with, like, how would you know? Like, I'm not gonna call her in on a hunch. She's like, "No, I know it." Boom, right out of the game, guy gets murked. That took me by surprise. I don't know if it. What about you guys?
Oh, for
I
sure.
was like, oh, okay, so it's this type of movie. Okay, here we go. Um, but then like I guess they gave her
I felt so bad for her. She's over the course of the movie, she sees like three people get popped in the
yeah,
face.
I know that's incredibly traumatizing.
Like
Um,
in a matter of like a week or whatever. We can
well,
get into it later,
they gave
but
her a
I felt
psych
so
they gave her a psych test, like a psychic test, because apparently the FBI has psychic tests.
I feel like that was like a thing in like TV shows and movies. Like, there's a psychic on our team because like she knew the house, right?
Or
That
something.
was
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I don't
well,
I
I
don't
think.
know.
Do you think it's like she's psychic or the devil told her where to
Well, that's the
go?
thing, right? Right. Coming full
Because that is
circle
the
because of what was
spoiler.
going on, right? Yeah. Spoiler is
spoilers.
it's the devil. Um, like
I
all of
think
this
it's
is
like
because of the devil.
yeah, I think
But
it's because I mean evil has a hold on her, so she's
Hmm.
able to sense other evil,
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
right?
yeah, oh, that makes sense.
It's more of
That
like
makes
a
sense. Yeah.
side, yeah. She's not psychic by nature. She's just it's a side effect slash
Yeah.
Yeah.
power of
Because he's like, oh, you got 8 of that psychic test correct. She's like, but I also got 8 wrong. I was like, yeah, 50% though. 50%. I don't know how those tests are conducted, but it doesn't seem like a fluke. 50% of like, 4 total. I get it, but that's 16. 16 total, whatever. I think I'd be like, all right, cool. Let's
Yeah,
go to
what the
casino.
test was pick a number 1 through 100, right?
Yeah, or whatever it was.
So
Like they showed her shapes or
getting
whatever
half
it was. I was
getting
like,
half right isn't
yeah, I was
bad at
like,
all.
let's go to casino, baby girl. 50%. I'm good with those odds. Um, yeah, but basically the entire movie is like she's brought on this case where it's Nicolas Cage, like they're trying to find him because he's like murdering everybody. So basically the meat and bones of this like entire movie is her trying to investigate and trying to figure stuff out. With the main, murderer giving like little tidbits here and there. Um, but I guess the biggest spoiler, like you said, Chris, it turns out that it's all satanic. Like, did that throw you guys off?
I like that conclusion. Um, at the end, I was like, oh hell yeah, it is like witch dark black magic. All right. uh, I don't know. I took it as like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take that one. Better than my demon theory at the beginning. Um, and I mean, what other explanation would there be?
All the symbology that's in all the symbolism of satanic rituals, cultures, the 666, the triangles, the inverted triangles, snakes, so on and so forth. It is all involved in the entire movie. So it is very that. But at the end of the movie, like we see the combination of why she's so involved, and it turns out what was it? She was originally supposed to die, but was like spared.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Nicolas
so her
Cage
mom made
came
a
to her.
deal.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, her mom made a deal with the devil to spare her life because the devil liked the little girl so much, and that was the deal that you just quit nursing, become a nun, and start, um, committing these acts of horror.
Murder.
Yeah, murder basically. Um, Technically not murder because she just brings the dolls in and everybody else does the action, but whatever. Secondary murder, and not only that, but I think she has to watch it too.
Yeah, she has to
Yeah, she needs
witness
to
it.
witness
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Um, so that was the deal to like save her daughter or whatever. And I
But
think
uh-huh.
and I think she couldn't do anything about it because Longlegs or Nicolas Cage was in the way the whole not in the way, but like obviously he would do something if the
Right.
mom actually tried to save the little girl.
Right.
But once he was actually caught, she was like, "Oh, this is my chance," and that's when like she popped the metal ball inside of her own daughter's like doll.
Right. Now,
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming unknowingly activating or not I mean activating for lack of a better word, the continuance because she was the last one, right? She was the last one in that pentagram that was being done or whatever. It was like the last murder that happened in the string of murders that needed to happen.
Well, I assume it was either her or the little girl whose birthday was also that day.
Yeah, but I was saying is like her killing the doll, the little doll inside,
Hmm.
made it full circle. So now like she is the one who's the new Nicolas Cage.
See, I thought it was more like her freeing her daughter, like
Oh, it might have
freeing
been
her,
that. I might okay.
because
Yeah,
like this
it's
this
yeah.
the black smoke came off of her as well as the ball. So
Yeah,
I
and
thought
as
it
like
was
ball.
more
the
Yeah,
like the curse lifted
uh
off of her kind of thing.
yeah, okay. Um but okay. But the other twist was that all of the occurrences and all of like the making of the dolls and everything and where Nicolas Cage was hiding and doing all this stuff was in her own basement, in her own home.
Yep.
Like she didn't even know her entire life that she lived there or whatever, even when she came back home, that the serial killer Longlegs was living underneath them. Like that's where he lived. Like that's where everything was taking place this entire time.
And she was like
Um
helping him like make the
yeah.
dolls and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She
Well, I think
just
that's what wasn't that like what the black ball does? It took her memories away or something, right?
I think that's what
Or
it
is that what
was.
it was in?
Or it was like somewhat controlling because they did try to explain it where they
Hmm.
took it where the doctor was like, what's it, there's nothing in it, but it does have a frequency. And the frequency is, making me, what did he say? He said he went into a room and he forgot what he was doing or something. What was it?
Wasn't it like he heard his mom's voice or
He heard his
someone's
mom's
voice?
voice. Yeah,
his
like it
wife.
was like
Yeah.
his wife's voice or something like
Yeah. Yeah.
that. So it was possessed enough. Whatever it was a dark magic type of lore where it was the frequency in the doll was obviously giving the recipient different voices or something to like so possibly that's what it was. It was like like a memory block because obviously the sacrifice was that she could live as long as her mom was continuing to like, murder the kids that needed to
Hmm.
be murdered.
Did you guys know the mom was a part of it, or was that a surprise?
No, I for me it was a surprise. What I kind of got, and again in the beginning, as I mentioned, I knew that the agent was going to be a part of it somehow, but how it was all tied in, I didn't really pick up
Hmm.
until they actually told us how it was all gone. So I did not pick that up at all. I didn't think the mom was involved at all.
I know,
I
like
didn't think I
when
didn't think she was involved.
I mean, you fell asleep during the first visit, which I feel there's a lot of hints there that one.
Well, for us in our movie theater, very quickly,
Hmm.
the thing was like there was a scene where they met at a bar and they were going over they were there it was an exposition scene
Yeah.
and they were going over like the letters and all that. And I lost concentration. I had no idea what they talked about because somebody came into our movie theater and it was like obviously like a homeless person or something because they just reeked of like just a horrible body odor and urine and like
Jeez.
feces, and it was really very poignant and like overbearing. And he walked all the way up to our row and stopped and then just walked back down. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought he was gonna sit with us, but it was
Jeez.
just so powerful. It lingered and it was just really hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. I was trying really hard to like get the smell away or like not trying to concentrate on it. And I missed like that whole scene and the following scene. So I don't know what happened between like those 5 minutes. It was just really, really, really bad and I couldn't do it. And I don't know if it was because of that or like just because of the way Nicolas Cage won, but I was like, dude, I could smell Nicolas Cage. Like I feel like that's how he would be smelling right now. And it just I couldn't like get it out of my head. It was just really, really bad. And I felt bad, but I was just like, oh my gosh, this was really bad. Um, and I just like, I mean, he left. Apparently, Charlie said he would like sit in the first row. I was like, I don't even know. Like, eventually the smell went away, but it was hard. It was hard. It was really bad.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was so I had a fun time in the middle of the movie, especially because there was an empty seat next to me. I'm like, man, if this guy sits next to me, no offense to him, but I'm leaving. I'm missing half of this movie. Um, but no, I didn't know the mom was. I didn't know the mom was part of the thing. I kind of suspected it, not in the beginning, like right when she was explaining, like, oh, there has to be a second person, there has to be an accomplice, because there's no way you just let somebody into your home like willy nilly without having someone trust them,
Hmm.
right? Without having some kind of trust until letting someone into your home. You don't let strangers into your home, obviously. And I'm like, oh well. At that point, it was like, well, there's only one other person in this movie, and it's the mom. So, so and then there's a lot of scenes, um, the flashes. I think the Agent Lee gets too. Also, kind of hinted that she was involved somehow. Because all her flashes were like I don't know what were they like psychic visions
No,
or
they were like,
just
well, now that
memories
we know they were memories
or
now
Yeah, they're
that
yeah
we know
memories.
now, but they were
yeah
like flashes of
but
like,
they were just like yeah but they were like not good like it wasn't good stuff, it was just
Yeah.
snakes and the 80s red color and all this other stuff, so it's like okay, this girl's obviously like going through something. It's obviously somewhat personal, so um
Yeah. In her.
that plus the fact that there needs to be a second person.
right.
I was
There
like,
needs
oh,
to
maybe
be
it's
an
Mhm.
the
accomplice
mom.
somewhere on there.
Yeah.
It had to
And
be
it
obviously
just
one of
kind
the
of
main
it also helped.
characters
Yeah.
out of all of that.
Yeah. And the hints also helped where the mom was like, are you saying your prayers? It's the only thing that we have against the devil. Obviously she said that because she's working for the devil and all that fun stuff.
And then like when Lee goes to her actual mom, he's like, "Are you saying your prayers?" She's like, I've never said my prayers. I've been scared of them." And her mom was like, "You're right. They don't do shit," kind of thing. And it was like
Yeah,
very
I
like,
was like, oh, man.
okay, you've been like saying this thing to her like a couple times this movie, and then it's like, nope, that doesn't matter at all, actually. And like the whole like the whole like basement being locked and stuff, and it like I don't know, it
Yeah,
just felt
at
like
that point, I probably should have figured something, but it didn't really register.
yeah. Definitely thought like maybe Lee was like because they said like you don't just let anyone to your house. Like Lee as a child, like maybe she was doing something kind of thing, but there were still
Maybe.
murders happening now. So
Yeah. Yeah. And their personalities were weird, so
mhm.
she was so like dry and just like monotone. She didn't really show emotions, which I don't know if that was the way it did it, but it worked. I thought her character was really like you're showing emotion without showing emotion. You're very monotone, but this is just who you are. Your relationship with your mom seems strained, but we don't know much about it. You know, the fact that you're calling your mom for like something. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't come this
Mhm.
weekend. I got work, but I'll make it next week. It's like okay, like you're very like not very how a conversation would happen. It just felt like very like segmented of what's like. So anyway,
Anything else?
no, yeah, nothing.
All right, let's get into our ratings. Would we see it in theaters? And do you want a sequel? Long Arms. Charlie?
Rating, I give this a three 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 peekaboos out of five.
Mm.
And um would I go see it in theaters? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're just a general, if you like horror, yeah, go see it. It's on the better side. I give it a three just 'cause, like it's more not for me, but I'm sure other people would like it. Um, I do enjoy a good slow burn. I just have to be prepared for it, and I think a coffee would have helped. I would not have fallen asleep. But don't let that deter you. Go watch it in theaters. And a sequel, nah, I don't need a long arms. I don't need long legs or a long arms or whatever.
Longer legs.
Longer legs.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't need longer arms. I'm good. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with you. I would give this three upside down triangles out of five. And yeah, I think the vibes in this one, like it's very I feel like this movie is very quiet. So seeing it in theaters, like with a good crowd would be would be ideal. But like sometimes you can't always get that. So maybe like at home with subtitles or whatever would be the best. But I think it's like a good like to enjoy with people. Like this movie is doing like really well. Like I think it's a part of their like the whole marketing they did and the word of mouth is pretty good for it. So it's like one of Neon's best opening films so far and one of the best horror movies of the year. So always good to see stuff like that, even if we don't love the movies. And
Like,
yeah, I don't know. We don't, it doesn't need a sequel, you know. What can you do? You know, like
I don't know. Someone carries a mantle,
like
carries on the
she's the
mantle
killer
or something
now
like
or
that.
something.
Yeah,
Like
like maybe
Yeah,
she's
she's
long
like that.
arms.
She's long arms, or like there's a second long legs that we didn't know about carrying the same work in like California or
Hmm.
Florida or New York or something like that. Right. I
Yeah,
will say
something.
it does, given even though I gave it a three, it does wrap. It does like conclude nicely. Like everything just kind of comes together at the end, including the fact that like um I should have said this during the review, but including the fact in the early on in the movie, Agent Lee Harker creates a bond with like her like fellow agent's daughter, and her daughter's
yeah.
like, "Come to my birthday." She's like, all right, I'll come, right? I thought it was like a throwaway, just like a scene, just to show that
That was a
his
real
daughter is like
awkward
super
talk. That was a
friendly.
real awkward. Yeah, that was a real awkward
Yeah.
scene.
But then at the end it actually becomes relevant and you're like, oh shit, this is the like birthday party that like, you know,
That they share the
um,
birthday with. Like her birthday is
yeah,
her birthday.
Yep. See,
yeah.
I as soon as the birthday stuff came up, I was like, okay, this is gonna be relevant.
Oh, okay. I threw it away. I threw it in my mind. And at the end I was like, oh my God, the birthday. That's the birthday. Everybody get ready. Uh, um, but that's it. That's my last comment.
All right, Eddie, what did you think?
Well, that was gonna be my rating scale. I was gonna give this a three. Three. Can you come to my birthday party out of five? Because that scene was just really awkward. It was like because the little girl's awkward and then she's awkward as an adult, and then she's like, "You want to see my room?" She's like, "Okay, I guess." And then after like 5 minutes, like, "Can she come to my birthday?" Sure, yeah, no. She's like, "I'll be there." Sure. Um, which side note, nobody showed up to this girl's birthday, so this girl's weird. Um, it was just her. It was just
That's
her
what
and her
you
parents.
noticed.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I'm like, it was her and her parents and Lee. And Lee showed up to save her. If it wasn't for the whole like Satan thing, it would be four people in this room. Like, what is going on? You gotta go out and get some friends, girl. Like, what's going
Wow.
on? Felt bad for her. I was like, man, don't you show up to your birthday party? That sucks. It's triggering some old trauma in me. Um, but yeah, movie in itself was pretty good. It wrapped up very well. Um, yeah, a sequel I'd probably go. Yeah, like there's a continuation with her, or maybe even a prequel. Maybe Nicolas Cage was the normal one, and like something happened with his daughter or something. You know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
something like that. So either a prequel or a sequel. I feel like there's enough to work with. Or you can just leave it as is because it all wrapped up fairly nicely. So
Yep.
you could either it has stuff to work with or not. It's fine. Definitely go see it in a movie theater if you can though. Feel like it's a more enjoyable kind of idea if you go see it in the movie theater. Um, if not, then you know, if you don't have time to go see it, just yeah, definitely watch it at some point though.
Great. Were there any scenarios we didn't cover? You can email them to us at straighttopod@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch at Straight to POD. And that concludes this week's episode of Straight to POD.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And now I'm Eddie.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.